With the undulating mountains, winding rivers, and dense primitive forests, the charming Greater and Lesser Hingang Mountains are the home for the Oroqen. In the vast stretching forest, there's a wide variety of flora and fauna, abundant living resources for the brave Oroqens. The Oroqen is a small nationality of China. It had a population of 896 in the 2000 census. They are mainly distributed in the Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region, the Oroqen Autonomous Banner of Hulian Buer League, and some places of Heilongjiang Province. The earliest document of the Oroqen is in the Qing Dynasty. The Chinese translation of its name has varied in different times, but all are of similar pronunciations. Its current name took form about 300 years ago and was used ever since. Oroqen is the name they call themselves. It means people in the mountains. The long-term hunting in their lives has influenced the shapes of their unique dwellings. Their traditional house is called xianrenju. It means house made of sticks in the Oroqen's language. It is a simple cone-shaped dwelling. To make a xianrenju, 3 supporting poles are put up to form a triangular pyramid first. Then about 30 wooden poles will be added to form a cone. Finally, it is covered with cotton blankets or deer hides or birch barks. On the top of the xianrenju, there is some space for both ventilation and sunlight. The door is usually facing the south. Deer hides and reeds are the common materials for its curtain. The Oroqens are devoted hunters. The same is true of their offspring. During their holidays or spare time, the modern Oroqens will leave the bustling town by their birch boats. Then they will return to the xianrenju to enjoy the quiet life in the mountains. For generations, the Oroqens have been good hunters. Equipped with a good knowledge of the Hingan Mountains and the habit of the animals, they can track animals with great precision. The long-term hunting creates many marksmen. Shot without a miss is common for the Oroqen. Winter in the Hingang Mountains is harsh. The snow-mantled forest can reach a low temperature of minus 40 degrees centigrade. The Oroqens will pack up for the hunting area at the first snow. They not only do the chores, but also see to the cooking and horse and hound feeding in the hunt. In the evening, this family camped on the snow-covered hill beside the campfire and their faithful hounds. In the past, the Oroqen children learned hunting from their fathers and older brothers while in their teens. Senior hunters would impart their skills and experiences to the next generation without reservation. Tracking is for the winter. From the animal traces left on the snowfield, the hunters can make a quick and precise judgment of their prey, its species, size, and when it was there. Hunting is the stage for the Oroqen horses, dwarfish, yet boasting excellent speed and stamina.
Ini kan bisa. Hey,
Lush grasses abound in the summer. The hunters can track their prey by the appearance of the dew and vegetation. While at night, they use an ambush to hunt the deer. For many years, the hunters will have their guns smoked by their wives before they set out to hunt. It is said that only smoked guns can catch the prey. In the evening, the hunters set out on their birch boats. They row forward quickly with ease. Waiting for the prey is a grueling work. They must hide quietly in the leeward even when mosquitoes bite them. Waiting tries their patience. They are anxious, and yet they have to fight the fatigue. At the break of the dawn, the hunters return with their hands full. A skilled hunter can skin a deer in 3 minutes. The Oroqens enjoy fresh deer liver and kidney. Once they down a deer, they will eat its raw liver and kidney on the spot. It tastes good and is beneficial in diminishing inflammation, detoxification, and improving the eyesight. No wonder we always say that the hunters are bright-eyed. The blade bone of the deer will be kept for its spiritual properties. There is much to ask from the heavens: the next day's expected prey, the family member's health, the woman's pregnancy, and more. First, a prayer will be said while baking the blade bone over a charcoal fire. After the bone whitens, it will be set aside to cool down. Then the diviner will check it carefully and make conclusions about the fine fissures on the bone. To get further hints, the diviner will also flip the bone upward. Its landing position indicates the hunting direction for the next day. In the game abundant summer, the women will cut the meat into strips and preserve them with salt. The meat will be air dried and then stored away for later consumption. The Oroqens' bear adoration can be traced back to the primitive totemism. The hunters found the bear can walk up straight, and its footage resembled the humans, plus the fact that the bear is hard to be hunted down. They were full of awe of the bear. They believed that the bear had some kinship with their ancestors. Thus they called them respectively Amaha, that is, honored uncle. In the old days, when the hunters killed a bear, they would sever its head first and give it a wind funeral. They would kneel down and pray, "We didn't mean to kill you. It is only an accident. Please pardon us and save us from disaster." On their way home and during the eating, they would imitate the croaks of the crow, indicating it was all done by the crows. The remaining bear bones couldn't be thrown away. Instead, they were wrapped up with weed and buried in a wind funeral. In the funeral, the hunters would sing like this. This touching and plaintive elegy is full of the fear and awe of the bear.
鄂伦春族呢是典型的这个狩猎民族，是在上个世纪50年代以前呢，世居在我国东北的大小兴安岭地区，以及今天俄罗斯境内的这个外贝加尔湖。那么在这广阔的地区呢，就是森林资源、动物资源是非常丰富的。所以在这个大自然的这种恩赐下呢，鄂伦春人呢，凭借着这个一匹马、一杆枪、一条狗，那么形成了自己独特的这种森林狩猎文化。那么作为鄂伦春来讲呢，他这种生活方式，由于他所处的这个时代呢，基本上是就是呢没有什么商品意识，基本上就是呢，我需要多少我打多少，我吃多少呢我打多少，而且呢是平均分配。
The Oroqens have the custom of gun divination. In cases such as a prolonged illness, lost hunters, and missing horses, there will be a gun divination. First, the diviner smokes the gun to disperse the evil spirits and inquires after the gods who had been offended by reciting each god's name. It's believed that when the right god's name is spoken, the gun can be raised with ease.
Bana samia ban kuburha urobok tiro dengan mo maina warar udah rosa amku jeban bukti.
The Oroqens believe in animatism. The mountain god and the fire god are the most revered of all the gods. The hunters will offer meat and wine to the fire god before each dinner.
Kementana burikol. Bana samia.
The Oroqens also revere their ancestors. They believe firmly that their ancestors are their guardian spirits. In the festivals, they will hold sacrificial rituals for their ancestor god to pray for peace and prosperity. This old man is sacrificing to the mountain god, Bainacha. Legend has it that the Bainacha is a white-bearded old man who holds a special position in the Oroqens' heart. After they get the game, they will smear the blood on the lips of the Bainacha to show their respect. The Oroqens believe in shamanism. Their shaman undertakes duties such as curing patients, holding spring sacrifice rituals, and praying. The spring sacrifice ritual each May is the grandest one. Snows melt away in the spring and the mountain is in a fresh green period. People gather from far and near to attend the spring sacrifice on their horses, with meat as the offering. The spring sacrifice must be held in a virginal place. People attending the ritual are all pious disciples. When the shaman chant the song to plead for the god's presence, the rest will listen silently in the Shanrenju. Some will join the chanting to pray for peace and prosperity. The Oroqens have a peculiar funeral. The wind funeral was popular in the past. It was to put the dead on a tree in a willow casket. They believed by this way, the dead spirits can waft out of the body to the forest and exist forever. The Oroqen women are skilled at hide processing. Ever since ancient times, they have used animal hides to make clothes. After their handling, the hide is silk soft and cold-proof. They mainly use the hide to make leather robes, trousers, gloves, and backpacks. The deer hide cap is so unique shaped that it is considered a piece of handicraft. The Oroqen women are also good at mane weaving. They use the deer hair and horse tail to make horse halters and girths. The Oroqen men have their own unique skills. Their deer-bone chopsticks are fine and firm. The Oroqen children grow up with the clattering of the kapilan, the toy given by fathers, which is made by stringing things such as animal bones, horns, shells, and glass balls together with a leather strip. The Oroqen women also make little containers from birch bark, practical items such as birch trunks, back baskets, and cigarette boxes. They come in different shapes, flat, round, cone, and more. These apparatus are usually decorated with simple patterns. Some patterns for auspicious, some for festival celebration, and some for love. These plain yet fine birch items show off the Oroqens' unique culture. The handsome birch boats are the man's masterpieces. Making the boat is a selective work. Smooth birch bark is for the boat's bottom, while the shipboard and the frame shall use fine camphor tree timber or pine. A skillful hunter can make a birch boat with a sheer knife. Wielded by the hunter, the sharp knife can make thin and elastic wood planks out of the log. Autumn is the golden season for harvest. The persimmons ripen and plums have blackened. The women set out to the meadows, river valleys, and mountains with their backpacks, where they pick the hazelnuts and mushrooms happily, scattering their laughter over the forest.
鄂伦春这种独特的这个森林狩猎文化呢，孕育它这种独特的这种音乐。在过去漫长的历史发展过程当中呢，鄂伦春呢，只有语言呢，没有文字。那么它的这种所说的这种民间艺术啊、民间文学啊，它都是靠口碑相传下来。就说比方说像说唱艺术啊、音乐艺术啊。那么作为鄂伦春来讲呢，它的音乐呢，由于这个在森林当中，它具有这种高昂。这种悠扬，这么一个特点。
The Oroqens' unique forest lives form their distinct folk arts. They have touching fairy tales and legends, vivid idioms and riddles, and resonant songs. They will dance to the rhythm whenever they hear the music.